Have you noticed something strange? When you were a child, one summer felt like forever. Christmas took ages to arrive. Your birthday felt impossibly far away. A single school year seemed endless. But now, you blink, and somehow it's already Friday. You celebrate New Year's Day, and before you even adjust to writing the new year, it's December again. One moment you're saying, "Can you believe it's already June?" The next, you're wondering where the entire year disappeared to. So what changed? Did time actually speed up? Or did something inside your brain change the way you experience it? Because according to psychology and neuroscience, time isn't as fixed as it feels. Your brain has been quietly rewriting it all along. And once you understand why, you'll never experience time the same way again. Think back to being 6 years old. A trip to your grandmother's house felt like an adventure. Waiting 10 minutes felt unbearable. A single afternoon outside could feel like an entire day. Everything felt longer. Everything felt bigger. Everything felt more memorable. Now compare that to today. Entire weeks disappear before you realize they've begun. Months seem to vanish without permission. You remember January, then somehow it's October. How is that possible? After all, an hour has always been 60 minutes. A day has always been 24 hours. Nothing about the clock has changed, but everything about your experience of time has. And that difference begins with something surprisingly simple. Your age. Imagine you're 5 years old. 1 year represents 20% of your entire life. That's huge. It's a massive chunk of everything you've ever experienced. Now imagine you're 50. 1 year is only 2% of your life. The older you become, the smaller each new year feels compared to everything that came before it. It's like adding 1 cup of water to a small bucket. The change is obvious, but adding that same cup to an enormous swimming pool, you barely notice it. Some psychologists believe this is one reason time seems to accelerate with age. Each year simply occupies less space in your mental timeline. But that's only part of the story. The real reason is far more fascinating. Your brain is designed to save energy. Instead of paying close attention to everything, it builds routines, patterns, shortcuts. Think about your drive to work. Have you ever arrived at your destination with almost no memory of the journey? Not because you weren't awake, but because your brain switched to autopilot. The same thing happens with life. Wake up, brush your teeth, go to work, eat, scroll, sleep, repeat. When every day looks almost identical, your brain stops recording the details. And when fewer memories are created, looking back makes those weeks feel incredibly short. Because your memory isn't filled with unique moments. It's filled with repetition. Here's something strange. Time feels different depending on whether you're living it or remembering it. Think about your last vacation. While you were there, the days may have felt normal, but looking back now, it feels like it lasted much longer than it actually did. Why? Because your brain stored dozens of unique memories. New places, new conversations, unexpected surprises, new emotions. Your memory became crowded, and a crowded memory makes time feel longer. Now compare that to an ordinary work week. Can you remember what happened on Tuesday? Or Wednesday? Probably not, because nothing stood out enough for your brain to keep it. The fewer memories your brain saves, the faster life appears to have passed. Children experience something adults rarely do. Novelty. Almost everything is new. Their first bicycle, their first friend, their first heartbreak, their first day at school, their first sleepover. Every experience forces the brain to pay attention, to learn, to record. It's almost like filming life in high definition. Adults, on the other hand, often replay the same scenes, the same roads, the same conversations, the same schedules, The brain no longer needs to study them, so it quietly skips over them. Life doesn't actually become shorter. It simply becomes less detailed. Modern life has introduced something our ancestors never faced: constant stimulation. Every spare second is filled. Notifications, videos, messages, endless scrolling. Instead of allowing moments to settle, we replace them instantly. One video becomes another. One post becomes another. Hours disappear without leaving meaningful memories behind. Ironically, the more content we consume, the less of our own lives we seem to remember. And when memory becomes blurry, time appears to move faster. Here's the good news. You can't slow the clock, but you can slow your experience of life. How? By giving your brain something worth remembering. Travel somewhere new. Learn a skill. Take a different route home. Meet new people. Read unfamiliar books. Try food you've never tasted. Start a hobby that challenges you. Novel experiences force your brain to wake up. They create richer memories. And richer memories stretch your perception of time. Not because the day becomes longer, but because it becomes fuller. Maybe time isn't moving faster. Maybe we're simply paying less attention. Perhaps the greatest thief of time isn't age. It isn't work. It isn't responsibility. It's familiarity. The moment life becomes predictable, our brains begin compressing it. Days blend into weeks. Weeks blend into months. Months blend into years. And suddenly, you find yourself asking, where did the time go? So here's a challenge. Tomorrow, do one thing you've never done before. Give your brain a reason to remember the day. Because in the end, a meaningful life isn't measured by how many years you live. It's measured by how many moments your mind refuses to forget. And maybe, the secret to making life feel longer isn't finding more time. It's creating more memories worth keeping. If this video changed the way you think about time, subscribe to MindLoom and join us as we explore the hidden psychology behind everyday life. Because sometimes the biggest mysteries aren't out in the universe. They're happening inside your own mind.